Hello and welcome to the 12th installment of the Sunless Sea Let's Play. So today we are going to be finishing off what we were doing last time, which involves me forgetting that I need to get a load of wine, and so we're going to be sailing back to London to pick that up. And then we will be hunting down Lorn Flukes, as the title of the stream may imply. Lorn Flukes and Broomsticks. They are the best way of essentially words. Oh dear, this isn't good. It's like 2 minutes into the stream. They're the best way of grinding stats, basically. Okay, so last time, if you remember, we were at the Khanate, the Khan's Heart, and our cook, who we are currently getting ready to hand over as a willing guest of the Fathom King, asked to go abroad, asked to go on shore, and we let him. I didn't have enough drowning pearls to go after him myself. But essentially, if you do, then what you find out is he's actually from the Khanate and he has a family there that he has abandoned. That's why he's feeling very suspicious about where he's getting the recipe book. Yeah, I also haven't been able to do a mic check for this stream, so if my voice is a bit weird, then that's probably why. Right, here's Mangrove College. Let's stop off here for a bit. Pick a passenger. Already got port. Let's eat, drink, and be merry. There we are. We got a fair way back. So we were at the Fathom King's Hold, and we've just sailed up to the Melting Islands and the Mangrove College. We're going to quickly stop off at Khan's Shadow to increase, to stock up on some fuel, and then we're going back over to London. Ooh, a pirate frigate. Let's kill it. Boom. Sound and voice check. That might be because I still had the settings on the FTL settings, where the game audio was terrifyingly loud. Right, we want to go to shops. Traveller's Friend. Lots of lovely fuel. And then we want to start sailing back across the Dark Sea. Actually, I just picked up someone from the Mangrove College who wants to go to the port vessel, the islands of Chess. So, I'm also just going to go on the water. Mainly because there's some annoying ships around here that I don't particularly feel like fighting. Oh, there's submarines too. How about we don't fight them? That sounds like a good idea. Let's not get into a fight with the scary people. What are you? So a boundling is the submerged version of a bound shark, basically. Right then, so let's have a look at this. Its corpse is a mound of twisted metal and flesh, its mottled skin further marred by the gaping rends inflicted by your weapons. Let's tear the cage from it. So I just gained 10 hull, which you know is a pretty nice thing. Merciful end, removing the cage is back-breaking work. Rods of steel run through the boundings, inflamed, swollen fresh. Its body had warped to fit its cage. Even its red eyes are distorted, pulled out of alignment by the band across its face. Before carrying the reclaimed metal away, your engineer wipes frothy slime off it. She gestured to a stain. It will take a bloody good standing to get rid of this. So the sonar has picked up an underwater settlement. Ooh, it's Nook. So that is the colossal mouth of a sea creature, and the water within it slowly makes you want to stay there. There's like an entire city there. The more it's also a very hedonistic city, of all things. Underwater docks are difficult to get into. The edge of Nook. A gap in this colossal sea beast's throat had been forced open with thick heart metal beams. They strain under pressure but hold. As you pass through, your submarine lights pass over a message carved in a floating piece of some unfortunate hull. Beyond is Nook, beyond is freedom, beyond is... the rest is scratched out. Enter Nook. Water presses against the airlock door. The breathing and slithering of the beast gives it the rhythm of a drumbeat. Trespasser in Nook. You don your heavy diving equipment and give the order to cycle the airlock. Water rushes in and you begin a slow swim down into a port. It soon becomes obvious that you are overdressed for the occasion. The people of Nook swim and breathe in the cloudy moor water with no apparent discomfort. Most are naked, with just a few clad in rotten rags that stream from their skin with no concern to modesty. None will communicate with you, even if they can. Those who acknowledge your presence just laugh silently at your bunky suit and unnecessary air hose. You'll need a different approach. Descend naked into Nook. At least you're unlikely to run into anyone you know. You undress. Every button, every stitch. The door opens. Ice-cold water rushes upwards. Instinct holds your mouth shut. 10 seconds, 20 seconds. Your lungs burn, holding in that last gasp of air. Your leg thrash. You can't hold it in. It escapes. You're choking in water. It forces its way into your lungs, the taste of burning salt suffocating every attempt to gasp, scream, or... Then, through the exhaustion and panic, you realize you're breathing. It's hard work. Your lungs fight against the weight. But it's enough. You can tolerate it, at least for now. The liberal application of wine will make this process easier. In future, bring a cask. The beast quivers with distaste at your trespass. Freedom is never stagnant, says the rollover text. The waves are flecked with light. Receive a story next time you make your port. Tolerance, your Nook, a taste for freedom quality is now free. And occurrence, your Nook, a tolerance for Nook water is now free. More of it you breathe, the less you remember air. It can leave a bitter aftertaste. Compile a port report. No one here has anything to hide. Actually, no one here is hiding anything at all. Notes on Nook. A vile place, festering, acidic. No laws but those of tooth and claw written in scars. Civilization? Impossible. Making tea would be a logistical impossibility. Yet the inhabitants seem content. Many have come here from London, the carnate, repressed perpetrate, abandoning cultured life for this tenuous existence. They grin, their mouths full of stolen flesh, or float naked and carefree. Many have nothing and nothing to lose. A group of swimmers dart past, hunting gleefully. One squeezes your shoulder companionably. You've never seen her. You've never met her before. So basically, tolerance for nook water is how long I can stay in the moor, and taste of freedom is how much I want to stay. Attempt to mingle with the nook folk. They may be friendlier now that you are fashionably dressed. Lost in freedom. They acknowledge your presence, but little more. Most shrink back, assuming you need harm. Others deliberately swim just above you in a crude attempt at intimidation. They carry bone knives or two-tipped spears. A few gesture to you. In welcome? Invitation? It is unclear. The slightly glutinous water makes speech impossible, so the natives have developed a language of signs. You can interpret the most basic. A finger pulled back across the throat, for example, is one of the more polite invitations to depart. I'm going to leave to the submarine, I think. Return. You swim back into the airlock and alert the crew. Air flows in. You retch the last of the nook water from your lungs. Return to the crew. Air again. How refreshing. The crew salutes as you pass. Good. All is well. Anything that happened in Nook shall stay in Nook. Right. Also, docking at an undersea settlement actually increases, refuels your oxygen meter. So exploring that is kind of a thing by itself, you know, you have to be ready. Like it says, it helps if you have wine. So we are now currently under the corals that we killed in a chess game. I can definitely say this for Submariner, a lot of the underwater environments are very pretty. Let's rise to the surface. Let's dissect it for knowledge. A setback, but you are a little too careless. The slime that coats it is poisonous, and as it passes into your blood, you pass out. You recover consciousness with your ship's doctor anxiously chaffing your wrists. The moray has disintegrated in the sea current. Well, that didn't go too well. Oh, there's another one. Maybe this one will be easier to dissect. Let's kill it. Bang. Let's dissect it again. Nature's armory. Observe its teeth, the hooks, the clamps, the cunning tendons of a jaw. Its skin, which almost defeats your knives and which secretes a slime containing a toxin that causes paralysis of the nerves. You can learn from this. Don't really get too much there. Let's turn into Port Cecil. Drop off the checkered character. He waits eagerly by the rail. He lifts his head to inhale. I can already smell the chests, he announces. Thank you, farewell. He says neither of these things. He drops a sweaty bundle of banknotes in your hand and hurries off up the hill, fingers twitching to begin a game. Game players, It's funny because I'm playing a game, and this is a game, and also because Pat Batter's in the chat. Right, so let's keep heading back to London. Not what I went to open. Oh, port. Good thinking. Oh right, I can't get a port because I think I already have it. If you can hear voices in the background, that's because it is currently it's currently way too warm to not have the windows open, and there's people talking outside, so there might be a bit of background noise from my mic picking it up. One thing for stuff to talk about, but I've kind of had a boring week, to be honest. Like, I can try and get a port here. Gators Morn swarmed with pirate smugglers and captains of uncertain allegiance. You could learn a lot here, but you need to go carefully. Let's try it. It is like the spies. Oh dear. You and one of your more villainous-looking sailors join in a dice game. Villainous-looking, but you know for a fact that he teaches charity and has a light-true singing voice. The topic turns promising to pillage and ambush, but your sailor is a little too forward with her questions. There is a scuffle and a stabbing. You escape, she does not. Oh, I like that crew member. But yes, so the two exciting things that happened this week is that I fixed up my bike and I picked up a kind of, a kit so I can keep it in better shape, kind of some oil, a better pump, and I got a new mattress this morning, so that arrived. I've been sleeping on the sofa for a while because the mattress I was using was kind of terrible and had basically the springs had gone down one side, so that's good news. There we are. Look here, and we get more fuel. Nice. We get more fuel. Nice. Yay, powerful cannons. I agree. Yeah. Just gonna keep uncovering this map. I'm thinking on our way back to Falcon King's Hold, we might well go that way round. So I'm gonna go up to Shepherd Isles and Abbey Rock get port reports, then down to salt lines. If I have enough room in my cargo, I'm gonna pick up a box. I'm gonna pick up a shipment of Flukes there. I'm also yawning a lot today. Shepherd Isles. Right, compile a port, and I'm gonna go to Retired Monster Hunter and get a Super Copper Long Box, because the place that you used them is right there, so I might as well sail down and just kind of do that on the way. So one thing that did happen is I got a possibly spam message on YouTube saying, well, almost certainly spam. It was from someone trying to pick up. It was someone trying to sell me a guide on how to get YouTube views. And it was kind of patronizing. I mean, if the guy is doing it, is watching it, it was honestly just trying to help. No offense for saying your channel is great, but I noticed that you have barely any viewers. I can see how it can be motivational for people, but not good lie for me. It was kind of just like, well, thanks for that, thanks, dude. But I was thinking, so I think at least with my current. Okay, let's douse the flame. Oh dear. I exploded because I accidentally pressed F instead of D. So I think the YouTube channel that I'm uploading these on is basically just going to be a depository for my various streams, for people who haven't seen them. I'm setting up a different YouTube account which will be called Heart of Aquamarine properly, and that will be where I put up any actual kind of more standalone videos. So I'll get into that when I finally get it around. Deliver a long box to the acolyte, more secrets of a heart. A faint smile. Perhaps it's difficult to read her expression behind those goggles. Perhaps she's pleased to see you, or perhaps she's only eager to continue her work. Gained 100 echo and lost a Stephen Copper Lombok. Return later. So station 3, once you can only get a portal port once, and they basically pay you to never mention it again. Like that's what the payment is for. Just forget you were ever there. Yeah. I mean, considering how easily I can get hunting trophies now, basically getting 100 gold, 100 echoes and Acolyte's Favour for them, because I only traded one hunting trophy to get the heart metal ingot. Not gonna bother with that, it's not really worth it. That's a pretty good deal. Not the best deal, and it's not going to make you money quickly or permanently, but it's a pretty good deal. Right, let's go into Zealport. Hold. Okay, so if I ditch one thing of fuel, then I can pick up or visit the Unmakers And then I can also pick up the Think Stone. If a stone's weak and unmade to advise you, ignore them, unless they flood your hold, of course. Then you should probably drop them overboard. Don't hate him when I said that. Right. So now we're heading back to London. Actually, this position of assault lines is very convenient. Alright, here we are. I'm not sure. So the material that they're made out of appears to be like it pops up a lot. At a guess, I'd actually say it's to do with the second city, which was Egyptian. But as to exactly what they are, I don't know. That's one of those mysteries. I also don't know why they're being taken apart. Let's see. First of all, let's spend some time with family. Lost 20 terror. Not gonna do Mr. Acts. Let's deliver this thing soon. Sign. Here's a receipt. Here's a discretion contract. Here's a penalty contract. Your vision is blurred by the end of it all. The cart rumbles off into the coiling fog. Here's your reward. So that's 500 echo. Let's hire some more sailors. Put my ship into dry dock. Completely restore hull. Pass on strategic information. Submit port reports. Gator's Morn. You no longer have any of this. A port report, Gator's Morn. Principles of Coral. Shepherd Isles. You can either give them the stories as fact, which takes a Veils check, or give it as unsubstantiated hearsay. So I think I'm going to do the latter. The Untouched Room. The Iron Republic. Excuse me, I need to unlock this and this. Oops, and this. Could you place your report inside? Yes, I imagine someone will read it eventually. There's always someone. Vroom. Nope. No, I didn't expect that to happen. Well, perhaps it's for the best. Some reports should not be reported. No, don't concern yourself. This is my third best suit, and the Admiralty offers a modest allowance for document-related damage. Perhaps it's best if you leave now. Good day. Okay, Abbey Rock. We categorize it as a military institution, you know, or that has occasioned some quite vigorous debate. Mangrove College. Polyfim. Returnate. Famine King's Hold. Khan's Shadow. And I lose all my terror as well. Wisdom. Salt Lions. The Gant Pole. You're saying you've been where? Report submitted. Here they come. The smirking requests from every captain in place, all wanting to know if he found their lost pocket watches. By the time the Kirk plays up, it's clear he's paying more for the amusement than information. But I got an extra favour from the Admiralty from it. And then Nook. So you've been to the Great Moor, have you? Report submitted. No clothes at all. Wild orgies. Fights to the death and the altogether. The secretary glows crimson as he stares at your report. Tell me everything. Slowly. Oh dear. Okay, asked if there's anything particular that they need. Go and talk to the Admiral. And okay, so he wants strategic information from Phosphate. Oh my. Please don't send me to bloody Frostbound. Frostbound is far away and freezing cold, and in all probability no one there will cooperate. I've had good experience with Frostbound. I'm gonna go back to Frostbound because they're always happy to see me. I get on really well with them. Yeah, it's a good place. I know. So I'm gonna sell that. Right. So I need quite a lot of wine and honey is the main thing. Thing is, supplies are easier to come across because you get them by killing things. So yes. Right. So this time we are going to go back down here. We're going to clear out some of this darkness. Go to the other room because I need to pick some stuff up. And then we're going to go and... Wait, hold on. Then we're need to go and kill a Lorn Fluke because I've lost the core. Whoopsie daisy. Oh yeah, because I gave it to my chef. Doop-a-doo. Never mind. Nope. I mean, they're a good item because they sell for 500. They sell for 500 echoes. So excellent for doing grinding. For doing cash grinding. Cash grinding. So I know I keep talking about ideas that I haven't even got close to doing yet. But I was thinking, because I don't really want to appear on... Sorry, I forgot to leave that out. I'm used to just skipping through those bits. I've been thinking of essentially doing videos where only my hands are visible. Because we managed to clear up that black bit. That's nice. I'm still not quite sure what triggers the black bits around the edges to clear, but whatever. So both to try and get me to do some more crafty things, so like modelling and drawing and stuff, but also because it would be a nice kind of image to go over my talking, rather than just a still image or anything like that. And I was thinking about it because I was getting the camera set up to do a review of some fidget toys, a video version of a review of fidget toys that I did a while ago on my Facebook page, and I realised actually, this is a pretty good setup just to do stuff. Right, let's pick up Port Report. Probably the safest place other than London. Listen for surface gossip. A sorry end. A card game ends badly when one surface sailor knifes another for all the usual reasons. The other players scramble from the coins that pick up her pockets, but you snatch up a piece of paper they overlook. Curious markings, dates, time, code names. Spies work? I got another move in the great game. So, moves in a great game are basically, they're a lot more important in Fallen London itself, but the Great Game is like the kind of political intrigue stuff between the great nations of the surface. As a sailor, you don't really get much involved in it. So I think that one's either a lightship or an underwater settlement. One of the two. I mean, it is kind of a stereotypical, like, it's kind of the most stereotypical way to describe it, isn't it? Like, oh, the Great Game, you know. Oh yeah, it is a lightship. Cool. It's a very kind of almost Ian Fleming-ish way of describing it, you know. The Great Game, not like an uncouth matter of murder and suspicion and lies, but, you know, a game. Yeah, I keep pressing F instead of D today. I mean, Fleming was actually a spy, I'm pretty sure. I think it's Fleming. I think he was in a group with, like, Christopher Lee during the First World War. So it might have well been that Ian Fleming called it the Great Game. Okay, I still don't want to go to Visage yet. Okay, I'm going north of the islands here because I'm running a bit low on stuff. That's it, I'll get a port walk from various places. A wandering parson, he glances nervously back at the face of the hill, but his handshake is strong. He seeks passage to the church of Low Barnet, hidden beneath the sea just outside London. His suit is well tailored for an inert preacher. His cufflinks wink with sapphires. Offer passage for money, offer passage for knowledge. I'm going to offer passage for knowledge. Ah, you travelled to learn as well as to trade, Captain. I myself was studying the religions of the Undersea. By extracting most admirable elements of each, I mean to construct a modern superior faith. I understand the value, the spiritual value of course, of hidden knowledge. Once on board, he insists you find a quiet cabin, and whispers one of the secrets he's learned in your ear. Now that is interesting. I received a intriguing snippet, and some fragments of a secret. Okay. That will have to do. A departing merchant gives you a confused account of crocodiles and honeycakes, and something about ear blockage. To add to this, you add your own impressions about the street layout close to port, and the types of commerce here. When the lights are especially bright, it's possible to make out the details of the profile of that great stone face. Let's go on to Visage anyway. On the lower slopes, stone buildings, flat roofs, archways. In the architecture there lingers a memory of the lotus and palm proud. The hill above is a face, forever looking up at the surging of the undersea. No one inhabits its cheeks or the hollows of its eyes. So Visage is the island that we did all the way back in the first session, I want to say. Or maybe second, but quite a way back. Where you have to have a mask on at all times, a mask of an animal. And your role on the island is determined by which mask you choose. All visitors must pass, one by one, through a room guarded by a person in the mask of a moon moth. So I'm going to choose the locust mask. Hunger for all things. Moon moth settles the locust mask over your head. The eye holes are covered with a thin gold film through which valuable objects gleam more brightly. May you find a happy harvest, said Moon Moth. Then, when you are partly turned away, it double knots the ties on its purse, as though you are likely to pick its pockets. Doesn't know you can see it. So let us visit the library of parts. So called because all the books are fragmentary, perhaps. Stoop at the lintel, enter the dark. A room of heavy stone, guarded by a golden statuette of a woman with outstretched arms. The scroll niches, sorted to correspond to a variety of masks, the jackal and the lioness, the crocodile and dung beetle. A woman in the mask of a lotus blossom is standing at a lectern, reading in silence. Pick the pockets of readers. While they are looking, you can be acquiring. Successful, if not wealthy. You dip your fingers into a crocodile's purse and acquire a few coppers from a heron. The coins here are no more than tiny copper discs, each stamped with an eye sigil. The exchange rate must be thousands of these to the echo, hardly worth taking home. But you have acted as a locust and meant to act anyhow. There are no scrolls for locusts in the library of parts. Trade master with Moon Moth. It has been making subtle overtures for some time. You only now understand them. It is keen to go. It draws you aside into a closet in the customs house. Had enough of visage, it tells you frankly. Here, you take my mask and pretend to be me, and I'll trade in the visitor mask and get on some departing ship. Get my life back. Its face, no, now you see, her face, is anything but unlined. A lifetime of never needing to use a facial expression. Visit the temple of Apis, the wounded god. In the centre of the temple is a black ball with a white diamond on its face. It is tied in place with heavy ropes, and it is wounded in the thigh. From this wound it bleeds copiously without dying. Leave a token, respectful token of offering. Even wounding, it remains a god. The tokens are small and not very valuable, as suits your lower rank in the community. The praise arranged them on the table with other small items. As you go out, you pass by more impressive gifts: drafting tools from the chief geometer, scales from Jackal, a heap of foreign coins brought home by Crocodile. You alone may act. The priest would be suspicious of anyone else who did this, but you, as Moonmoth, often have a need to narrate the rituals of visage to newcomers. The explanations in the library of parts are not suitable for strangers, and therefore you are expected to compose your own. Visit the house of the chief geometer. It is understood to be an honour. Lines in wet ground. Each morning the man in the cobra mask draws line in mud flat with a pointed steel rod. This apportions to each inhabitant a small trapezoidal area from which to harvest mushrooms and to scrape salt. No plot is ever preserved from one day to the next. This man is the chief geometer, keeper of directions, master of land measures and sea measures. Now you've been invited to his home, at the time customarily appointed for him to receive Dosard, not his equal in rank, yet not so far beneath him as to deserve to be ignored. What ceremonial gift will you bring? Bring 2 honey cakes. Isn't that the proper gift for lowering snakes? Ah, remember what we talked about with the port report? See? Information coming back. He accepts, he approves. The cakes are placed in the front table of his receiving room, so that other guests may observe and appreciate the correctness of your gesture. You are permitted to stand to one side and watch the others arrive, but there is no one whose gift supplants yours in place of honour. Not even the gift of a preserved lark, frozen in gelatin, with a bubble of song rising from its open beak. When you depart the chief geometer's house, he presses on you a prediction that one day you will have the most need. The earth will swallow you in one place and spit you out in another. It, of course, is only a ritual saying. So, this might be a reference to King Eater's castle. where if you have enough sea stories, you can use them to randomly teleport to somewhere else. Which is good, because if you're stuck at King's Castle, you're really stuck. It's a little far away from everywhere. Enter the Hollow of the Ear. It is a place of still greater pageantry. This is a journey of several steps and may conclude your current visit. A proud nose. It is a festival day. The great stone face had been illuminated from forehead to chin with blazing torches, so that profile is visible from the side more clearly than you have ever seen it. Flourishing of years is awake, says the genderless figure in the crocodile mask. Fall in line with the others. How else would you want to discover what lies beneath? All the descendants of Visage are walking towards the ear together. There is a place in possession which belongs by right to the wearer of your mask. Among your own, you go as you are truly one of them. You carry nothing with you but your mask and your costume. May your heart be as light as feather, says a woman in the lotus blossom mask from the Library of Parts, as you fall into line behind you. The road you follow leads up through switchbacks along the side of the face, and finally into the ear or flourishing of years, and into the cave that is her ear. The tunnel bends back on itself, and all lights have now been extinguished. There is nothing to guide you but the hand of the person behind you on your back, and the movement of the person in front of you. The one who walks beside you wears a bat mask. Fortunately, the floor of the tunnel is very smooth and presents no stumbling blocks. Sounds carry strangely in this place, however. Sometimes you cannot hear your own footsteps, and sometimes the breath comes back to you audible from some place ahead in line. Continue. There is a secret in the dark. In line, the footsteps of people are steady and synchronized, and you go together. For how many years has this been done, and for how many will it be done in future? Watch your steps here, says Batmouse to you in an undervoice. Its accent is the accent of Wolfsat docks. Floor is about to get squishier, and soon enough it does. Alas, the tunnel opens out. You and all the other conduits spread out in a cavernous space. A voice speaks in the darkness, a ritual preparation. Here at the New Year, we gather under the warm mask of flourishing of years. Her face is turned to the gods. Protected by her mask, we may move our own. Protected by her script, we may speak outside our parts. Here and there is the sound of people fumbling with ties and strings. Your own face feels different with mask off. So wait and listen, tell one of my own secrets, fight the urge to giggle, and receive the confidence of a stranger of holy. I'm going to tell one of my own secrets. Strangely liberating. You begin to speak, certain weights lift away. You have been wrong from time to time, but it is forgivable. The hour of confidence is drawing to an end. If there is anything else you need to do, now is the time. Do nothing. Let the ceremony end according to the proper rites. Last bell. At the end of an hour there comes a woman with a feather of shimmering silver, which she tucks into your hand, symbol of the innocent heart that will not be eaten by the jackal. Then a bell rings and the time of speech is over. You all begin to put your masks back on. It is possible, you cannot know for sure, that in this cover someone has exchanged a mask with someone else. It is an orderly and perfect line that emerges again from a flourishing of ears. If anyone watches from above, they must surely be satisfied. So I get a secret and a captivating treasure. End your performance and leave the island. You can't stay in character forever. When the other citizens are distracted, you'll find your way to a familiar customs house and rig yourself a mask and robe. There is satisfaction in laying aside a role well performed. I mean, so Pat Mash is wondering how many people know that I've pulled a substitution. I'm just going along with it because I'm playing the role correctly. I mean, yeah, that's kind of a point. Like, the roles are far more important than people playing them. So that wouldn't surprise me at all. Like, if you notice, you're not supposed to care. Basically. Right. Let's go to the attic room. Hey guys, guess we're back again. All roads lead back to the attic room, for she gives us life. Or something, I don't know. The attic room. Right. Let's gather intelligence. Oh, I now have 2 docile lemon. Trade a strain catch for a live specimen. I want to do that mainly because of the so as we found out, we can trade strain catches to repair our hull at the Fathom Kings there. So it's a good idea to have some. Let's trade some honey. So basically, we are drug runners for this entire island. Right, so about to clear some space in the hole by dropping off the wine. Yeah, to be honest, the Sunless Sea world gives you very interesting ideas about what a legitimate Z captain should be up to. Drug running for sapient mushrooms? Yeah, that sounds one of the better things to do. That one trimerate has just... Ow! That wasn't funny. It was funny that it got caught in a mushroom. So this is the amber wind, which it acts a lot like, it's basically the southern equivalent of snow. So it makes it harder to move. I don't particularly feel like dealing with this, so I'm going to skirt around it. I feel like It Was Funny to Its Open Fire kind of sums up a lot of things in life. It's all fun and games until someone loses some hope. More like specks of light from the... It's from the mountain. The mountain of light, so... Can't actually remember exactly what it is, but I know what it's called. Ah! Hello, Lorn Fluke. Give me your secrets. So Lorn Flukes can do a terrifying amount of damage when they ram you, and this attack that they're using now that does 2 hull damage. If your hull is below half strength, that does a terrifyingly large amount of damage. And I think that their ram does something like 30 damage, and this attack, which is firing the correspondence at you, which is this special kind of eldritch language. Oops, gone underwater. The correspondence, this special eldritch language at you, it does lots of terror damage. So you want to avoid challenging them without a good hull buffer. Examine its corpse. Dangerous, but what an opportunity. The deliquescing body is full of incomprehensible organs that collapse at your touch. You sketch what you can, cock an ear to the departing harmonies of its violent language. At its centre, you find a vast lump of resin or concealed gall, the size of a barrel, flawed with darkness. In the false starlight, it is a deep violet purple. Irigo, your doctor whispers, the colour of forgetfulness. So I got 3 secrets. And I'm about to put those two. Once I've done the stuff with at the Famine Kings, I'm going to put them to good use because I'm going to massively increase my iron, baby. So, compile a port report. Officers, let's see. Speak to. Okay. Descend to an audience with a Famine King. So, hand over on my Z stories. Attend the Prosener's feast. The drowny court, soggy, chattering, hungry, populate the table, carved coal. The Prosener caps his hands. Your crew stirring in with Stephen plates. I have 5 casks of mushroom wine, and I have meal ready. Let's do this. The 7th miracle. There are 7 courses, each named. It begins with the first touch on the skin, a plate of silky white flesh submerged in yellow sauce. Fresh, sharp, shocking. Next comes struggling against the current, a fierce terrain of coursing flavours. It leads the diners watery-eyed and reaching for their wine. Before they recover, bowls of pelican soup are set between them, swallowed for Prosener in turns. The taste is deep and rich and heavy, lining the stomachs. Several drownies lift the bowls to their lips to catch the last drops. A mirthful interlude follows. The surface high above is a mild, palate-cleansing mousse. Afterwards comes lost breath, a roulade of still wiggling tentacles, bitter on the tongue's tip, but departing with a long, mellow aftertaste that slides down the throat. The penultimate course, the abandonment of the self, is spun with sugar and crunchy with salt. Spherical cages of solidified syrup containing fiery sweetmeats. The fillery cracks between drowny teeth, the sweetmeats vanish down damp gullets. Last of all, the promise of what is to follow, a bruleed cream of inexplicable pungency, indescribably Moorish. The diners lean back, bloated. When their senses return, they call for Prosener and congratulate him upon impeccably reproducing the sensation of drowning in culinary form. It was not drowning, the Famine King said, his baritone rolling over their babble. It was love. He raised a glass to a Prosener. So I now have the bandaged chef paramount, and I've lost 5 caskets of mushroom wine. Okay, so now I'm going to do something weird. So I'm going to remove from Memento Mori, and you. So basically, I can only increase my that doesn't increase iron. You increase iron, and you increase iron. Okay, so I'm going to talk to the gunnery officer and start increase my iron, but I can't do that and if I have it over 100, and that includes any bonuses I'm getting. So basically what I want to do is remove all the bonuses that I'm getting so that I'm just increasing the base stat, and I'm basically going to burn through as many secrets as I can. No, yes, my god, no. That captain is going to cause explosions. Although, now that you mention it... That's funny, hold on. Oh, the ship is giving me some, It is a bit weird. I assume there's a clunge. The ship is giving me some iron, so... a bit of an iron boost. So the Impossible Cannoneer is unique in that they can give you, they have random chance of giving you a increase of 2 in your iron stat. But you do whole damage. A little explosion. Oh my word, we need to, sorry about there, that's only smoke, look at there. All's well that ends well, and in the end, all manner of things shall be well. So I got 2 iron that time, but lost 6 whole, which is why I wanted the what's it called? Why I wanted the strange catch. So basically I can take some hull damage here, and then I can repair it without going back to London. So let's keep going. Basically I'm going to keep going until either I run out of secrets or I can no longer increase my iron. Doop-a-doo. I'm going to burn through a lot of secrets. Okay, I can 6 more points, and I'll no longer be able to increase it. Okay, so yeah, I can no longer increase my iron. I'm gonna keep hold of my live specimen because I'm not quite at the point where I want to, where I feel like I need to repair my hull yet. I did not just forget to put everything back. Why would you accuse me of this? I'm calling out myself as problematic. Okay. Oh, also, I'm going to keep the cook around for now because he actually got a bonus. So he now gives a bigger bonus to your stats when you equip him. Okay. So my iron is now 126. It's a little higher than the rest of my stats, but oh well. If we go into battle screen, so now, yeah, basically our base damage has massively shot up, which is good. So I'm going up to Khan's Shadow to pick up some fuel, and then I think I'm going to do some grinding around this area. Ooh! There we are. We got some extra fuel. That's nice. I'm going to turn out the light for a bit because that will decrease the amount of fuel I'm using. Luminescent beasts like eyeless dolphins play in your wake. So in Full London there's this whole thing, there's like different grades of the same item. So like you can Power Linen is like the upgrade, not quite the upgraded form, but like not the upgraded form lore-wise, but the upgraded form mechanics-wise of Spider Silk. And basically, there's kind of a trading thing where you trade like I don't know, 500 of one for 200 of the other. Khan's Heart, we're back. Khan's Shadow. Compile a port report. Shops. Fuel. Supplies. Grab my whole. To be honest, I don't really need Spider Silk at the moment. So I'm going to dump that overboard. Cool. Right then, let's go monster hunting. So usually a Lorn Fluke spawns around here, but the nice thing about having a submarine is if you go back under and come back up, everything will respawn. So it's a very good way of kind of increasing your grinding capabilities. Now I've got to be careful a bit because I'm backing up northwards. aka I'm backing up towards where the Tree of Ages spawns. Which can be a little bit dangerous. I have to also be careful that I don't press F because I don't want to have to deal with yet another engine explosion. That would be silly. We are. Examine the corpse. Dangerous, but what an opportunity. Oh well, I get another Fluke core, which like I said, worth 500. The 3 secrets are probably more useful, to be honest. But I'm not going to say no to 500 echoes. But do I have to go back to London to sell them? Azalea raised her head. Sniffed sharply, blood on the wind. No shit, we're outside the Carnlade. I'd be more surprised if blood wasn't on the wind. Right. So guys, remember that submarine I killed when I first got, I think last session? That may well have respawned. So let's go and see if we can find it. Ah. There we are. Okay, so basically my iron's too high to try and get that. So I'm going to send a boarding party. Succeeded. 2 drowning pearl, a lump of blue scintillac, 1 times heart and 1 time mirrors. Tasteful, Skipper. Demented, yet tasteful. It is not often that a boarding party returns better dressed than when they left. Your crew return with bulging loot sacks, yards of silk neckwear, and extraordinary array of waistcoats. Some even penetrated into the inner, boudoir. One pocketed a pair of eyeball-sized pearls, which, she tells you a wink, she found on the table d'hôte. Among the treasures and drifts of Chaffron, you find perhaps the greatest prize of all. Yellow sheaves of Z chanties of a kind you've never heard before, as bright as pennies and mad as hunger. The music rings through your vessel. Who knew victory should be so cheerful? Oh dear. So this spiky stuff, surprisingly enough, will damage you if you go near it. a diving suit, so plastic grass. Boom. This one should be quite a bit easier to kill. So it's kind of got 3 mouths, basically. Hence its name, Tris Elegant. Let's see. Harpoon it. It is a risk, but in Thorn London they pay double for anything pulled and line caught. Hey! I now have a live specimen, which, as we have already discussed, is a very useful thing to have. Okay, so let's pop back up. And then our hull has taken a bit of a beating. So what I might do is just basically do this kind of cycle. So, you know, kill some stuff here, go down to the kill some stuff, go down, get some fuel, repair if needed, kill some more stuff, etc. But first, I'm just gonna see if the Lorn flute that was up here. If I don't, basically, as long as I'm careful and I don't get rammed, I will have no problem dealing with a Lorn flute. I don't usually take more than about 6 damage when I'm fighting them. Also, actually, when it goes underwater, it's actually useful for me, because although my weapons stop locking on, so I lose my weapon lock on, my blue scintillac recharges, which is kind of helpful. Oh, come on. 5 health, that's just taking the piss. Shit. Die. Okay, let's try and get some more secrets. Again, didn't manage to get secrets, but got money. So I'm just going to go back up to Khan's Shadow and refuel. This would be a really good setup for grinding if you swap the Carnate with the Melting Isles. Oh, made a discovery, that's nice. Ah, excellent. Dinner's arrived. Boom. Let's butcher it. So I got 3 supplies and an unprepossessing mass. A curious sack. Slice it open. What's within? A human skull! Oh dear. This isn't the sea beast's stomach. What's it doing in there? Like a seed in the gourd? Oh dear. Actually, thinking about it, what I might do is I'll head back to Fallen London now, and come back and do a bit more kind of leveling up. There's some things I want to take care of on that side of things. One thing this does mean is... do I have enough? One thing this does mean is that one thing having the submarine does mean is that I can now explore the northern bit much more easily, because I can Mount Nomad I don't think appears at the bottom of the sea, so you have far less to worry about than that. I really hope. Anyway, let's do something really silly now. Let's go to the Copper Quarter. Khan's Heart. There are no laws specifically forbidding the seeding of Blemigans on Khan's Heart. It is unlikely to make you popular, however. 25% chance. Let's do this. A qualified success. The damp and dark places of the city are fertile ground indeed. In months that follow, Blemigans stalk the guttering of Khan's Heart, pullulate in the shadows of the alleyways. They menace citizens after dark with their sinister poetry. They steal dogs and house bats and the occasional baby. Trade, prosperity, and security suffer outrageously. The whites and golds ask their questions and compile their careful records. They note the report that your ship was among those that visited before infestation began. It isn't proof of your involvement, but there is a little mark beside your name on a little list. So just dump. So the successful version of that one is when they don't realise it was you who dropped them off. And so you just kind of quietly spread chaos throughout Khan's Heart. Just by going, whoopsie daisy. Whoops, dropped off for Blemigans. Butterfingers. Okay, I'm going to go up to Nucio and then or do I I'm just trying to work out. Yeah, I think straight back to what's it called is a better. Straight back to Fallen London is a better use of my time. Well, less time and more fuel. Yep. You will notice the faces moving on the floor. Yep. I did not mean to press that button. I meant to look at the chart. Oh! But, good news is, we've just found a new underwater city. Dahut. Oh look, it's one of the faces. That's nice. Dahut. Drownies built a copy of London as it never was. a cathedral and houses and field of flowers, all underwater. Wander, look, make no commitments. You're only here as a visitor, you don't need a place to stay. Water and air are saying things here, a betrayal of nature or a truce between opposites. Swim up beside a cathedral if you like and peer through its rose windows. You won't be able to make out anything inside. Breathe deep, fill your lungs with a substance cool and more cleansing than ordinary air. Walk in the gardens with a fish around your knees. Do not ask questions about the king of this place, those will go unanswered. Ask your drownee for the latest news of the hut. The weather had been dismal lately, hardly a single wreck since Odysseus Day, and then that was only a little yacht with a few sailors aboard, and 2 of those were able to swim to shore and didn't come to the hut at all. We'll just have to hope for the spell to break. Zero percent chance. Okay, I'm leaving. Bye, guys. Temperature changes abruptly. Your helmsman complains about goosebumps. Let's get a... Oh, blood. Offered them a hunting trophy as a gift for their collection. I get a load of stories, that's nice. And a secret. Of shouting. Or rather, put a Blemmigan ashore. How will Blemmigan deal with all the wine, blood, and shouting? A flash of violet. It's gone. Up the dripstone flank of a stalactite into a tiny tunnel. So, if you bring hunting trophies, which again are really easy to get hold of, Godfall is a good way to get. Godfall is a good way to get the rare stories. So I particularly need details because they're what you get. They're what you need to go and talk to the Fathom King. But you know, if you need Tales of Terror or anything like that, you get one of each when you bring a hunting trophy to them. So just worth remembering. Oh, one thing I should probably say. So, I was checking up on the rules of the various of streaming, and I noted that one thing I have been neglecting to do is to remind you guys that Sunless Sea is available on Steam, fairly cheap. So you know, I think it's like £10 or something. I'm not sure what it is in dollars, but you know, if you're interested in, if the stream is getting you interested in it, you could do worse. I can definitely recommend it. As you might be able to tell by the fact that I've now done 12 streams of it. Let's see, Tea Refactor, explore the island, accept a volunteer, put a Blemming ashore, compile a port. Let's put a Blemming ashore, let's see what happens. Oh, a kind of homecoming. The Blemmigan propels itself into a spring leap, up to a Bolagus trunk, around into a thicket. It whistles as it goes, and deeper into a fungal jungle, a whistling rises in response. There are already Blemmigans here. So I think I'm going to have tea with a factor. And I get some supplies, that's nice. Oh, just checking. Are there any... Okay, so I'm going to buy a bit of fuel, but it is quite expensive, so I'm not going to buy too much. The other thing that Eagle Eye viewers might have noticed is that I am now auto-hosting some streams, some other people's streams. So Patbat, who's currently in the chat, Ogre Tay and Storm Talon are the 3 that I currently have. And I get some extra fuel for killing that ship. Cool. So if you would like me to stream your game, like me to auto-host your streams, or if you'd like to auto-host mine, which I'll be very grateful for, yeah, feel free to do so. Just probably give me a note saying, by the way, I'm auto-hosting your streams, could you auto-host mine in return? And I'll probably do it, unless... Oh, didn't mean to hit... Spacebar is paused, by the way. I should probably be making more use of that, but oh well. Blow up pirate frigate. And pirate ships are an excellent source to do kind of like a bit of refueling on your way. I recommend it. So the trait that I currently want to increase the most is probably mirrors, because that's what's increased my yeah, I don't have enough room to do another synchro run. Increase my mirrors because that's what decreasing the amount of time my weapon takes to lock on. Butcher it. But yeah. So yeah, if like I was saying, if you want me to stream, if you want me to auto host or you want to auto host my stuff, just let me know. I might not auto host your stuff if you are an asshole, but I'm sure most people aren't. So here's Bad Stephen Elizabeth, which means we must be coming home. Home again. Oh, I just can't wait to get home again. Right then, collect messages from the Harbour Master. So, right, let's, first of all, let's go to the Alarming Scholar. So, this is a scholar from the university who will pay you for various things. I've got quite a lot of stuff. So, but... philosophy course. The reason I'm doing this first is that you do gain some terror for doing it. So I want to get the terror increase before I kind of wipe it by going to see my family. Let's get tattooed. Wait, I've still got one more. Okay. Oh yeah, sorry, I completely forgot to read it out. The Alarm Scholar. Right then. I've still got one more, so we can still read it. Memories. Prison's light scratches at the surface of a core. Oh yes, the Alarming Scholar breathes. Oh yes. He seems to have gotten you. So many savors. Come here, my love, come here. The Irigo glow its core brightens. Colour leaks from the room to be replaced by one shade only. You wake slowly in your cabin. The swimming light seems dull after the Irigo glow. Your eyes itch oddly. What happened exactly? The scholar, you know, will never speak about it. Right, so I'm going to get the Unflinching Eye added. Increasing my mirrors by 2 permanently. The Golden Needle pricks. Lily Chufflemut hums. At the end of the process, the tattoo's gaze is so expressive, you're almost expected to blink. You're almost hesitant to look your own arm in the eye. So I gain 2 mirrors and lose 25 terror. Right, so let's go to Wolfstack Exchange and let's sell the Stigton Ivory. Okay. So I'm going to buy a load more fuel. Oh yeah, ports. I've just bought a load of fuel, so I'm not going to. I'll come back with them, especially with what I'm currently going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up north, go to Frostfound to get the. I think I have some stuff to drop off at Vanderblight for the curator, curator. So I'm going to do that. Then I'm going to go to Frostfound, and then go to the Avatar Horizon to pick something up there, and probably to Erm as well, because Erm is a good place to visit. So let us sail up to Vanderblight. Colony of Vanderblight. Assist a specialized collector. A dapple gentleman lounges by a dry fountain, admiring a frost moth with a predatory gleam in his eyes. Would you help him find the quarry of a lifetime? With a satisfied nod towards your ship, the incomparable Alarian slides the frost moth into a killing jar. He explains as the pale blue wings beat against the glass. You've seen beneath the waves, I see. And I trust you've seen tyrant moths as well? Fine creatures, but nothing compared to the regal kin, the most moth. I know where to find it, and with your ship we can see it hatched. He gazes down at the frost moth, now still. Take me down to the undercrow, and I'll show you something worth preserving forever. A weak call for help. An emaciated man is slumped against the wall of the dock, sitting on a huge crate. He waves weakly at you. Oh, thank God, the dog, the crate apprentice gasps. I don't know how long I've been here. It's been days, weeks since I ran out of money. I got back to Rosegate beneath the waves. His crate rumbles beneath him. Please, help me, and have you anything I could eat? You'll not only take him to Rosegate, but you'll feed him too. He's clearly weak with hunger. You can spare a little sustenance. Thank you, thank you. The dog apprentice springs up to embrace you, but collapses onto the dock. After seeing him to a bunk, you check and double check that your screw has securely stored away his rumbling crate. Let's go and visit the first crater. Okay, it turns out I don't have anything with me to drop off, so I need Gant. The colours I need left are Gant, Pelican, I know where to get that, Violent, and Viric. depart. Let's gather gossip. And I'm not going to do the last tour operator because my stats are still not high enough. I'm just going to quickly repair my ship a bit. Okay. I have 12 secrets, so I'm just going to spend them to... Yeah, I forgot to repair in London. Again. But in return, I'm just going to dump all my remaining secrets into mirrors. So I now have 79, which is not a bad one. So these now take 3 seconds each to charge. Remember, if we can get it to 2 seconds, the Memento Mori essentially becomes a full stun lock. It stuns them for 2 seconds, then by the time they've recovered, it's recharged. So, pretty helpful. Lightberg! Boom. 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 There we are. All gone. Right then. Let's concentrate on replenishing supplies. It's big. There must be something edible or combustible in there somewhere. So I just got plenty of fuel. Lightbergs. Bit dangerous because they do a lot of hull damage if you get hit. But, you know, definitely worth trying to do. Wither. Okay, gather intelligence, so get a port report. Put a Blemigan ashore. What questions might a Blemigan ask? It is not enthusiastic. It does not say anything, of course, but its opinion is apparent. What the hell are you thinking, perhaps? Ice, salt, and dust are not up to its taste. Help Maybe's daughter search for her mother. I don't know why anyone would come here, but she does. Something about questions. The daughter shivers. You know, she asks people about love all the time, and writes down the answers in a nasty little book. Love. The daughter's mouth twists. Nothing. I've been asking questions for 3 hours, and every time I ask a question, they reply with a question, and I think I might, but I didn't. I just picked their pockets. I think that's entirely reasonable under the circumstances, don't you? Here's your chair. Let's go try something somewhere else. That's handy. I now have a motor salt, which takes up room. Oh. Do any of my officers want motor salt? No. Okay. Gazette. House of a question. So you can actually get basically the attention of the gods of the sea here, which can be useful for things, particularly salts. Salts is the one I see popped up most often. Ask about the drowned man. I think I've done this before, and it's a bit expensive, so I'm not going to do that. Right. Give me 1 sec. I'm just going to turn the lights on because it's starting to get a bit dark. So I'm going to pause it. Click. And click. Et voila. I am no longer entirely in shade. Okay, let's go to Codex. Pick up another port report. The island of Codex, a desperate cave full of mute exiles and an inexplicable colony of shivering bad-tempered monkeys. Agree to a damp request. Seeing your ship, a drowny approach with a purpose. After a soggy exchange, it seems he is seeking passage to the undersea spire of Sishkumhanda. A deal is struck. Few return from Sishkumhanda, not because of a danger, but because of a cost of leaving. Still, your guest promises compensation to travel with trip and your safe departure afterwards. How generous. Let's try and push the Blemmigan ashore. How do Blemigans deal with cold? Not well. It's scurried back desperately up the gangplank, shrilling pathetically. Not a fan of ice, apparently. Compile a port report. No one will speak. This is a challenge. Silently forthright. The exiles see many come, fewer leave. Some were even willing to communicate, but their gestures are unfamiliar, meanings unclear. Even when you can understand, these are answers without questions, as useless as a key without a lock. So the next stop is Palmstone. It's having moisture in the old fruit. How ominous this music is when it's like nowhere near the most dangerous place. Is that any better? I do love the name Failbetter. Okay. Is that better for the voice? Investigate the hole. And mute distance. Oh dear. Okay, that's kind of weird. Okay, we'll see how it goes. Mount Pumpstone. Take note of a veiled woman. A middle-aged woman in a veiled hat staring at you, waiting for you to notice and listen to her. The Imperial Sister's tale. She begins manically, as though you have met her salon as though there's no burning mountain at her back, as though you're simply just a little bit inferior. Thank goodness, someone might help me, she says. I've been searching everywhere. My brother is troubled, you see, troubled because of some past difficulties. I came to Mount Palmerston because I thought possibly they had his soul. She drops her voice to a whisper on the last words. But it isn't here. And now I have something else I must try, and you have a submarine. How does people know? The woman is no longer exactly useful, but she speaks passionately under her veil. Perhaps she has studied heroines on the stage. I need help to be reconciled with my dear brother. Listen to what she wants. He used to work for the Admiralty. Something happened to the prison there. When I asked him about it, he said I'd worry enough to worry about with my own concerns. My husband was ill at the time, but if I could help him if he'd only permit me to know his troubles. For, you know, bearing one another's burdens is what makes us truly good. She tells you need to go to Agil, the city of regrets, find her brother's regrets, and return it to her. She will pay gladly. Okay, let's get a port. Put a Blemming ashore. Surely it will flourish here. The Blemmigan bounces happily up the promised shores, warbling as it goes. That warbling is answered as it climbs higher. There ought to be Blemmigans here, somewhere. But that was useless. Right.
Okay, let's keep going to Frostfound. Not sure what's going on with my voice though. I'll have to check on it later. Frostfound. I already know you can't put Blemigan at Frostfound, so I'm not even gonna try. I might try just plugging my mic back in.
Is that any better? Hello. Hey, okay, found the problem. Right. There's a sail to Frostfound. Pick up the vital intelligence. Conveniently, we are also very near the place where our most recent passenger wants us to go. So let us first of all take tea with the squatters. Gain 1 fuel and 1 supplies. Very nice. Also lose terror. Create a port report. Wait, I can actually put a blemigan ashore. Snow, ice, a few squatters. A harsh environment for vegetation. But blemigans are adaptable. Not that adaptable. It moist tendrils freeze to the icy ground as soon as it's off the gangplank. It squeals, speeding back into the ship to huddle in the engine room. It's made its opinions on Frostfound very clear. Right, let's speak to my Urimi contract. A riddlefish is wearing the blue and red scarf that marks him as a contact. It would be a riddlefisher. What are the odds he'll give you a straight answer? When will the towers topple? The riddlefisher shares a series of linked riddles with you. You identify the linking factor. It is a prediction about who will win the contest between questions and riddles next year. Perhaps the Admiralty will find it useful. It is the closest thing to information about the balance of power this far north. Right, let's go. So our next stop is the Undercrow. The Ragged Crow, which is linked to the Undercrow. Which conveniently is where one of our passengers wants to go. So the Great Crow, Ragged Crow even, is actually a lighthouse, not an actual crow. It's surrounded by it's patrolled by a tyrant moth, a giant moth creature. But I want to go under the waves, so we enter Stormbones. St. Elegus sends his fire to dance in the air on deck. Very far away, we see the great light of a Ragged Crow. So if I just hide off the citizens. Okay, so here's the Ragged Crow. There's a tyrant moth. And I am going to sail south a bit until I can dive. Down we go. Discovered the Undercrow, 50 fragments gained. Dock. The Undercrow, a deep, well-lit cavern, thick with a fungal smoke and cave moths. Far above, a lighthouse fire burns. The scent of it is curiously medicinal. It clouds your head and burns your lungs. Farther into the fog, you can make out laboured breathing. Approach your voice from the fog. Here at last? The fog voice croaks. Come closer. The incomparable Aurelian rolls his eyes, but advances nonetheless. An almost dead man. Your passenger gazes impassively at a bulbous figure, whispering quietly. As the fog parts, you can make out milky eyes and a toothless grimace. No tomb fondness ever looked as ancient or unwell as the almost dead man before you, grey, bloated, and nearly embalmed by the fungal smoke. It is difficult to tell when his skin ends and the stone bed beneath him begins. His breath is shallow, but his bare chest heaves to a different rhythm. A shape pulls beneath his ribs, but disappears as the man lets out a gassy sigh. Allow me to introduce you, Captain, the incomparable Illyrian says, slipping you a modest payment. This is Lorenzo, my erstwhile mentor and host to the Most Moth. Entertain a dying man's last requests. You have a submarine, the almost dead man wheezes. Entertain the dying man's last request? Morality had a way of finding us in the end, the almost dead man wheezes to himself, dislodging a cloud of cade moths. The incomparable Illyrian spares them only a disappointed glance. I must set my affairs in order. I owe that much to my successor. He waves a withered hand feebly. It's not clear whether the gesture to the companion at his bedside, or for one nestled within his ribs. So, Captain, would you help an old man say his farewells? Deliver a letter of farewell to a sprightly visionary at Hideaway. He deserved more than I have to give, the almost dead man croaks. How did he come to know one of the exiles of Hideaway? No answer is forthcoming, but the old man displays a broken grin. The old history of foolhardy youths, he confides, who somehow became old men, saying farewell to a lover in Hideaway. I have an important letter to deliver. I'll think about that later. Assemble port. It's little more than a cave and a lighthouse fire, but the Admiralty appreciate thoroughness. A thorough survey of moths and fire. A ramshackle array of pulleys allow the undercrow's reclusive resident to feed the fire above. The herby smoke of a fungal fire had preservative qualities, but dust everything in a fine grey deposit. Meanwhile, the fire distracts the more aggressive moths and warns ship far above. All is well, or as well as can be expected. Release a Blemmigan into the undercrow. In such a desolate place, any company would be appreciated. I do want to check something, because I can see this going horribly wrong. Okay. A natural fit. Moments after being shoved ashore, the Blemmigan is excitedly chasing cave moths. You watch as it scurries into the deeper fog. Speak with the incomparable Illyrian. You catch him between tending to his ailing friends and preserving an unwisely bold cave moth. When my master retired here, we both thought it would be his last destination. The Illyrian arrived, take the sheen of a patient man approaching a long-delayed payoff. No one had been present at the most moths hatching before. Well, no one who was in condition to remember it afterwards. He spares a hesitant glance over his shoulder at the almost dead man. Of course, being by master's side during the final days is a necessary part of the process. Share tales of the outside with the almost dead man. Ah, Captain, he rasps. Humor, an old man. Tell me of your journeys. The almost dead man is not easy to impress. Through the alluring goggles at your tail, his mentor only gives a grizzled nod. Not bad. Saw a thing or two of myself in my youth. The desert of eyes, the listening desert, the desert of light, Nida on the mountainside with her domes of basalt and polyphony. So this is the Undercrow is related. All this is related to the immortality kind of what's it called? Ambition, which is one of the alternatives to your father's bones, which was introduced in the Submariner expansion. So if I decide to keep going on this, once I've done Father's Bones, that will be the next ambition I do if I keep going. So we're sailing underneath Chapel of Lights. Now my hope is Mount Nomad doesn't spawn down here. It also means I can safely carve out some of the map area. The brightest light cannot reach this depth. That glow is an illusion. Yeah, there's no separate chart for Under the Ocean. And I think it's just literally going, have you gone to this place? If yes, fill in this chart. So we're going up to the avid horizon. Which is sometimes a bad idea. Okay. Right, so I'm going to get ready to dive the moment. Okay, no sign about Mount Nomad. I'm really paranoid about Mount Nomad. Avid horizon. Two vast winged shapes guard a gate or something like resin, smooth but uneven. It is deep gant, the colour that remains when all other colours have been eaten. Ice crusts over a crack between its valves. Approach and your breath freezes, falls tinkling in shards from the air. It would be utterly foolish to touch the thing. A merciless wind blows from everywhere to everywhere. Its passage without effort through your bridgecoat, your flesh, your lungs. The dock lies empty. Gather intelligence. So this is avid horizon. You heard a story, the ice by the gate's edge. There was a whisper about a hunting quest and a final revenge. Yes, this is what the rumours meant. A hunter frozen in the ice, hands contorted to claws, mouth agape. With her left hand, she had plucked her own eye from a socket. It lies very close to the surface of the ice. If the stories are true, there is a dark virtue in that eye. Take it then, perhaps you should put it in the jar. You now have one-time hunter's eye. Put a blemming ashore, though it's far from hospitable. Probably not. The Blemmigan, eyeless as it is, looks to you, looks to ashore, looks back to you. Its reaction is quite clear. It's not going anywhere near this place. Blemmigan's just like, the fuck are you doing, human? Right. Under the sea. Blemmigans are very sensible mushrooms. So now we have basically the entire top half of the map explored. So the northern bit of the map is a bit weird because Frostfound and are incredibly useful bases when you're exploring. And they are why I usually go to the north first. However, there's just like there's just Mount Nomad, and that by itself is enough to make me go, do I really want to go to the north? Alright, we go restocking them. The Puller's City. A Blemmigan ashore, it will spin down the gangplank a little cautiously. Two riddlefishes will stare aghast as it whirls into the shadows, raising a cloud of rose petals that goes. The year of the Blemmigan, the younger will say. I was afraid this might happen. He takes the older's arm, and they hurried off to confer with his fellows. The Wyvern will laugh themselves sick, the older groans. I've just gone. Whee! Report. Help Maybe's daughter search for her mother. She's known to visit. I think she must have come here when I was conceived. It is close to dreams. She will inhale a gulp of air, eyes half closed. I love this. It is like coming home. Quickly, up to a seventh serpent. Riddlefisher said, you will follow the daughter's stunned gaze. A woman in a lilac gown will stand beneath a seventh serpent, chatting calmly to a half-visible figment. Her features will bear an unmistakable resemblance to your officers. We should talk, she will say to her daughter, quite calmly. The daughter will assume the rags of composure with remarkable speed. Excuse us, she will say. I found her mother! Hooray! Show me your tattoo. The daughter leaves with a woman in lilac. You see nothing of them for the rest of the night. In the morning, the daughter returns, her eyes bright with purpose. Show me your tattoo, she demands. Let's show her the pirate daughter, a pirate poet revenge. Oh my! The daughter blushes as he laughed. No, don't tell me. In this case, I prefer mystery. They're all mysteries, aren't they, in their way? A moment of frozen time, like a butterfly behind glass. Perhaps I should tell you the story of my butterfly. Perhaps even wicked things it did to be pinned. Butterfly. My mother knows other tattoos, the great signs, the one no one wears. She forged an alliance with Bazaar to learn them. We must return to London. That is, please can we return to London? Please? We must find Penstock, who watches the secret wicket gate of the Bazaar. That night, you walk beside the river serpents, through a green and further jungle, beneath an orange sun, in company of a tiger. It watches you with weary, humorous eyes. Speak with a tiger. I understand you become involved in my daughter's intrigues. Well, you look like the sort who can take care of yourself. But let me repay you as best I may. Tiger Tales. This cat walks in the mirror marches at the edge of dreams. Consequently, it sees many and curious things through mirrors. It shares them with you as you walk beside the riving river. When you wake, you will remember them clearly. Ooh, strategic information and a secret. Very nice. Right then. Threshold. No one sells east from Erm. This shop is for those who sell east from Erm. Okay, so you can sell a captivating treasure for 50 fuel here. I don't have enough room for 50 fuel. Also, that is an elemental dawn requires 50 supplies to make. So that is a terrible deal unless you really need supplies. But I mean, like, just eat your crew. That's what they're there for. Okay. Right then. So let's... I think that's Hideaway there. So let's go there. I'm going to go down onto the seafloor because I want to run into, if I can, some boundlings which have, you know, the undersea version of bound sharks that I ran into earlier. because that will improve. That will help out my hole. So this is Hideaway. It is a city built on the back of a giant crab. Which is where the letter... Leave the letter untouched. The letter is not for you. You are trusted. Hideaway. On the back of a gigantic beast live exiles from every corner of the North. Here gather the traitors, heretics, artists, fools, and the too honest. Despite possessing a range of radically different ideologies, these outcasts live together peaceably. Assemble a port report. Explore the city. Report the habits of those who dwell within. A city of strict custom. Most Hideaway dwellers toil to strengthen their city against the sea's crushing weight. Those who don't instead prepare for that night's festival, and all without a word spoken aloud. If they need to communicate, the people of Hideaway rely on a strict system of acutely formal gestures. Buy a memento from a slowly blinking vendor. Goods for food, don't really want to do that. Drop off the impolite investigator. This is where he requested you bring him. The impolite investigator grins as he departs. As soon as he's exited your ship, he spots a small ancient man, the sprightly visionary. The investigator runs over to him and shakes his hand while unleashing a barrage of questions. What's your name? Reason for exile? How's the food? The visionary writes a message in a notebook chained to his wrist. He presents to you both. Welcome. Sorry, must run. You need to register yourself. Go straight ahead. Advice, no questions. Buffet tum. Good day. Let's drop off a Blimgan. Maybe introduce a Blimgan to Hideaway. Maybe it can provide the beast that has the city with some measure of companionship. Welcomed. The Blimgan rushes towards an open gate and leaps into the darkness. A working standing nearby smiles broadly. She wails to a group of her fellows to gain their attention. Then she points down and sweeps her hand up to her heart. She takes a few side steps before throwing her hands into the air. What could she be saying? Her co-workers nod, raise their own hands in the air, and sway for a moment. It's unclear whether they're happy, but they're certainly not displeased. Hooray! Everyone loves the Blimgan. Present a farewell letter to the sprightly visionary. I'm not going to do this stuff because, again, it's linked to the Submariner ambition. But the sprightly visionary tears open the letter, scanning it quickly, then reading it again more closely. His emotions are guarded, but his fingers gently trace the ascot around his neck. In response, the visionary writes only, "Tell Lorenzo he is dismissed from his service." Hesitantly, he gives you the salute of a Carnegate's commander before rushing off to busy himself with other work. Where store their goods? Perhaps there's something to trade. So I can go into shops there. Alright, so here is an easy way to get strain catchers. Which is good, because we can convert those into live specimens, which we can then use for a bunch of things. And also strain catchers are used to make some of the more advanced items. Oh, I have a secret. Let's improve my modes. There we are. Okay, let's lead Hideaway. So I'm going to pop up, because I'm very near Astroval. So I'm going to pop up there and get a port report. Ooh, Sun. Right. Compiler port. Write fast for light scars. A burning after image. Your eyes water for pages blur. The report is one of joyful complaint. Asteroid has a beauty too bright to be appreciated. Perhaps the Admiralty can find something of use. Right, so there's another underwater dock down. No, that's the that's a crash ship. I know what that is. Okay, so I'm currently heading back to the Famine King's Hold because I can trade my my live specimen for a for hull repairs. So I'm gonna go over to Nuncio, and I did not mean to press F. Fiddlesticks. So, I know you're supposed to learn how to do blind typing by finding the two letters with the dots on it and using them to authenticate yourself. But I will admit, the way that I tend to do it is I just memorize the keyboard that I'm using, which works fine when I'm just typing, but it can cause a bit of problems. Right, let's compile a port report. Oh, do more shift work and offer employment to a postal rat's niece. Ask her a favour, and she sounds very trained and eager. The postal rat is grateful and says so at length in a variety of ways. Only so much work to go around in Nuncio. She keeps asking me to assist me here, but as you can see, a gesture at heaps of loose chain gears and unhooked chains. I hardly require any assistance, and my work research is so delicate at stage, but she's an excellent worker, very bright, like her mother. Do more shift work and also tell the post back. I've already done this bit. Feed letter into the sorting machine. The letters go in the hopper, but then there is a horrible churning and a loud thunk, and the whole thing comes to a halt. A single letter, mangled out of recognition, protrudes from the output slot. The postal rat is clearing at his fur. Wax plane? Case doll? What have you done? There's a great more commentary on your wits and parentage during the long hours of repair. The letters themselves are so damaged they can't be read anymore. Dead again, in short. "52 categories. After prolonged rowing, the machine begins to distribute. 7 invitations edged in gilt into the correspondent of the aristocracy slot. 2 oversized parcels probably contain books into the books tray. 1 stamped bronze tablet that drops with a clang into a bin marked First City. The postal rat watches all of this with an air of satisfaction. Okay. So when I've stopped, so basically, that will basically you can use a rat to do a one-time repair of 10 hull, which I should probably actually pick up. So you can buy them in London. I think they're like 100 echoes a piece. But I should probably pick them up for when I go fighting the big scary thing. Tree of Ages. Here we are, back at the Stoke Steeps. So you haven't noticed, the Carnate are descended from a Mongolian empire. The first city was older than Babylon. The second city was Egyptian. The third city was Mesopotamian, and the final city, the fourth city was Mongolian, and then London. Damn it. Suffered from repairs I didn't want. So I want to pick up some fuel. Might as well sell my captivating treasure as well. Ah! An angler crab is over here. You can tell because of the light. Butcher it for supplies and occasionally other oddities. A wooden corner shows some kind of case or box encased in the salty jelly. Oh, I got a tomb colonist. I don't want a tomb colonist. Back you go, overboard. I know that seems harsh, but they can be quite annoying. Yeah, they'll live. It's kind of what they do. Oh yeah, I think... So if you discover the name of things, so like I get some for this rift, which means I didn't properly explore them. Okay, having the thing that I'm trying to shoot at below this toolbar that I can't get rid of is kind of annoying. Right, let's rescue a new Jonah. The eel's duck twitches. Is there something alive in there? Let's dissect it. Oh well, failed. So that was the one where I pass out again. Alright, so here's the Famine King's Hold. Like an iceberg, like a bizarre master scheme, like the nerf itself, most of the hold is invisible. So you want to repair the ship. Yeah, that's better. Right then, let's go to the other room and pick up some more blemigans. The problem with having the OBS, because the OBS preview shows what you're streaming, but this means sometimes I click on the preview instead of Sunless Sea, and I'm just like, that's funny. For some reason, I'm not being able to control it. So the one that I'm aiming for, once you get to 7, you get a reward, basically. And then it resets, and there's 2 rewards. So you need, so basically you need 14. Experiment with Restrained Catch. I get another live specimen, very useful. There we are. I think I'm on 5, hold on. It'll be under journal. And it should be under propagation. Blemmigan's aboard 5, yeah. So, there is a reason that I'm heading southwards, which is there is one more port to find here, and given that I have quite a lot of blue scintillax, it's a very useful port for me to find, because you can trade blue scintillax for rewards. I think, if I'm remembering correctly. Also, usually a Lorn fluke spawns around a Lorn fluke spawns around Famine King's Hold. So I'm just going to sail over there and see if I can find it on my way. So I may kill it and learn its secrets. I believe found you. Boom. 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 Oh dear. Boom. Okay, one more barrage. There we go. Examine its corpse. Yeah, failed. Anyway, so let us... Actually, first let us go to that place, which I think is underwater. Port. There, have a look underwater. Yep. That current is going the opposite way to where I want to go. Ah, here's idle. The station is pinned to the surface of Igel. Once it was a roving vessel for Fortress Kettle and floated freely from place to place. Now it is stuck on spines of fluke rock. So this is one of the places that you would lose, where you would lose the Blemmigan. so I'm not going to drop one off. Assemble a report. Loose information. You gather a description of a fortress kettle and a survey of its resources. You scrape away a little of the sealant, the colour of amber, and the texture of wax that keeps out seawater where the hull is pierced by the spines of Aegel. You sketch the arrangement of decks and hatches so far you've been able to reach. But about the population, you cannot offer much detail. The tomb colonist declines to be identified, and the travelling postman laughs at you. Yeah, so I need an item that I haven't got to get in contact with the first mate. Solace fruit, which is a fruit that is incredibly nice, but may also kill you. So I can't do anything right there. Solace fruit has been described as basically the nicest suicide you can take. Yay! Plus 50 oxygen. So I believe if we come up now, here we are. Vachas. You approach Vachas, the mirrored city. The burning white light of Vachas. The walled city of Vachas is tangled with green vines and luminescent fungal flowers, slow blooming around mouldering stone. A quincux of carved step towers rise over hills and pour burning white light into the bleak sky. A rough shadow path leads from the docks to the mirrored gates of Vachas. Two towering carved stone lamps throw their light onto the angled mirrors, and a blue cloaked guard stands in the reflected pool of light. The city is a beacon against the tree-hushed, sprawling darkness of the Elder Continent. In the far distance, a vast mountain glimmers. Let's drop the Lemmigan enough. Put the Lemmigan ashore. Will the guard permit it? Careless shrug. The guard watches as the Lemmigan whirls into the darkness. She shakes her head. More of your outland pollution, Tamas? Mira will see to it, I imagine. So Tamas means that I'm not from Vachas. The sailors whirl you over. You're not thinking of going in there, the sailors balk at you in unconcealed horror. They take turns of telling you a gruesome story about Vachas, which they no doubt invented for whole cloth. Some are convinced that the Vachasi renders sailors into tallow to light their city. Others say they steal shadows and sell them to their masters. All are convinced that they blind any stranger who dares gaze too long upon the city's secrets. We're just waiting to be paid and then we're off, one of the sailors said, nervously fingering a mirror chip. I've only got one eye left and I like to keep it. Choke on the smell. It's overpowering, sweet. It comes from a fungus growing wild over all the city stones. The flowers have white waxy leaves which leave powdery traces on your fingers. The light coming from the city has become camphorous quality, and the smell, perfume worn too many days on body, unread books left to turn to ink-stained pulp, a garden drowned and rotting in still water. Ask the guard a few questions. Never a bad idea to gather a little intelligence before heading into unknown waters, or cities, as the case may be. The blue-cloaked guard only acknowledges your existence when you step out of the darkness of a path and into the light from the lamps. Up close, the guard's blue cloak is threadbare and mossy along the hem. A pattern of embroidered suns runs on the collar, but the gold thread is dull. The corals around her eyes are smudged. Well, Tomas, are you going to ask your questions, or are you just going to stare? Her tone is brusque, but her expression is curiously eager. You do not think Vachas received many visitors. Your name is not Tomas, you correct her politely. The guard looks scandalized and tries to stop her ears. All those who are not Versace are Tamas. You have been touched by darkness, and it has taken your name. She fixes you with an admonishing look, and adds, it is very ill-mannered to pretend you still have a name. You begin to see a little why Versace are not being visited. It looks like you'll have to get used to being called Tamas if you wish to enter. About the light. It all seems a bit wasteful, possibly even ostentatious. We must always walk in Mirror's light, so we burn our lamps day and night and day, to banish darkness from Mirror City, she tells you proudly. If we let darkness corrupt us, we will not be Versace anymore, but Tamas, like you. You wonder if that's so terrible a fate? Her mocking laugh answers you before her words do. Yes, it would be terrible indeed, Tamas. And before you ask, no, I do not have any desire to leave Versace. The rest of the nerve has fallen from Mirror's grace, and I do not wish to join them. Ask about her. Does she like her job? Does anyone? It is a great honour to guard the mirrored gates. She snaps defensively. She gestured to the edge of a pool of light illuminating her post. It is very dangerous. Even a small stumble and I could fall into the dark. Her voice goes thready. I would be banished from Mirror's grace. I would lose my name. That is why they only send for bravest outside the walls. Ask about city customs. Best to know them before you flaunt them. Easier to plan an escape route that way. Don't touch the mirrors. Don't even look in the mirrors, she says, and her voice hard, and try very hard not to dream. We're expecting something along the lines of don't murder anyone, only wear red on special occasions. Still, you nod and smile. So yeah, mirrors, link to dreams, link to Finger Kings. Although we have proved that the best way to handle Finger Kings is to stick them in an engine. No more questions. You are satisfied, or perhaps the guard's voice has begun to grate a little. She looks a little disappointed, but does not engage you further. Right, compile a report. The Admiralty will want to know. Tone down the details of the light and its brilliance. You don't want to inspire envy in the Admiralty staff. Tell the guard you wish to enter. She makes a mark in the ledger between ringing a brass bell. The mirrors of the gates rearrange to give you space to pass, but never once allow Shadow to touch the guard. Our way are not yours, Tamas. Remember that, and walk in the light of Mirror. Right. Your eyes are blinded by the brilliance of the light. The verdant what smell is even thicker. The heat of so much flame and reflective light presses oppressively against your skin. Your head pounds. It is a few minutes before your eyes adjust and you can look around. Brass lamps and gilded sconces hang from every wall, and phosphorescent fungus grows moss-like upon walls and ceilings. Cunningly disguised mirrors catch every droplet of light and diffuse it until each cobblestone and rampart of a city is drenched and blazing and utterly without shadow. Who do you talk to? The firekeeper, dressed all in saffron. A pair of thick fire gloves dangling. Okay, so these are all people that you can talk to get things going, to get plots in Versace. I want to go further in because I know what I'm doing, so I'm going to ignore them for now. I'll come back and do them properly. Also, my voice is getting a bit hoarse, so I don't want to read out too much. So I want to go to the Temple of Mirror. It lies in the sacred district at the centre of Versace. Sorry. You walk gallery courtyards reft with vines and fungal blooms. Long straight roadways crisscross the length and breadth of Versace, the stone worn by wheels of carts and the tread of thousands of slippered feet. Lamplighters constantly check the fuel levels of the sconces and replace wicks. Firekeepers check the coil spring mechanisms that control the angle of the mirrors. There's so much to explore. Where will you go next? I'm going to go to the temple. The sound of the bells grows louder and more reverberant as you approach. The temple tower pierces through the city's heart, taller than the other 4 towers that stand at each of the cardinal points. Around the tower spreads the sacred district, vine-covered stone shrines, still ponds glowing with algae and flesh-thin carp, priests in white, their wrists heavy with metal chains. There are no mirrors in the Temple of Mirror. The rest of the city have to make do with mirrored light and reflection, but Mirror's most sacred place is filled with hundreds of lamps and lit candles of hard-backed phosphorescent fungus. So what I want to do is... Blue Scintillac, how much more will they pay for this treasure? So I get 5 outlandish artifacts and a captivating treasure, which is a lot. Reprieve chatter excitedly. You bargain hard, and by the end of the process, they have to send a junior seer down to the outer treasure chambers. She returns with a glorious pectoral of feathers, amber, and carved basalt. From a mountain, she whispers. Right, so I'm going to do this 2 more times. And we get Blue Scintillacs by destroying the Irrepressible. So this is a very, very nice way of getting some cash. Return to the city centre. Can't do the stuff with the hospital. Let's go to the bar and gambling house. There are many available. Mir is not a Puritarian god. The nicest establishments in the city are lit with expensive imported gas and have little blue glowing scintillac statuettes scattered on the shelves. What takes your fancy? The duelist. The courtyard is strewn with white sand. The duelists fight with curving twin blade scimitars in each hand. You could try your luck in an expedition match. Yeah, they don't sound nearly as badass as I am. The blades are light and deadly. There is intent light in your opponent's eyes. You step together and away, your blades kissing gently before scraping apart in a grasp of steel. Your opponent is going easy on you, but that's what you are here for. An exhibition match is meant to make both parties look good. It's hard to keep your mouth from curving into a sharp grin as your blade clashing chime. You sweat under all the reflected light. And your arms are shaking by the time the arbiter called time. Your opponent bows deep, a flick of eyebrows and a flourish of blades, and you do the same. The 4th tower bell has thing. So basically, the tower bells mark time. Once you get to 5, you need to you can't do much. Oh, welcome. The guard at Mirrorgate smiles. Surely he remembered you. Okay, let's talk to the firekeeper then. Dressed in all in saffron, a pair of thick fireproof gloves dangle from a silver chain at her waist. I'm too important to play guide to you, Tomas, she tells you before you even open your mouth. I'm the keeper of the West Principal Mirror. She points at the enormous multi-faced towers set upon mirrors, set atop each of the city's 5 towers. I'm only here because I'm looking for my idiot brother. He's probably pouring wine down some pretty dark-eyed boy's throat in a tavern. So yeah, a lot of same-sex relationships pop up in Sunless Sea. It is a matter of great urgency, you wonder? He's late for his lamp checks in the Sacred District, is her terse reply as she hurries away. If the Argonauts find out, he'd be lucky to end up a late treasure. Okay, so once you've done that, the only way, there's something you need to do before you can come back and do other stuff, because basically the chimes have 5 chimes have run out. I don't feel like doing that, which is why we're not. Those are blue prophets, and I am hiding underwater. Yeah. Blue prophets make me just go, ah! Allow me to give you a counter argument. No. They're one of the most annoying enemies in the game. Ooh, there's a thing down here. What kind of thing is it? Ooh, it's a cratey thing. Ooh, there's lots of things down here. Unclear what this is, but our engineer assures us it will burn. +1 fuel. Retreat. A wreck. The wreck rates below, a dark shape in dark water. What caused it to sink, and does anything salvageable remain? The cargo hold is intact. Perishables and water are spoiled, but preserved supplies may endure. You don your diving suit. The hold is a wretched half-collapsed thing, shuttered beams and floating debris. Your navigator helps you move a spar of fallen steel, uncovering sealed boxes. They contain heavily salted biscuits, hardtack, preservatives, and lard. That's handy. Ooh, another wreck. The wreck has fallen into a crevice at the seabed. It lies embraced by the stones. Board the wreck. The ship is as silent as its watery grave. You'll have to enter to uncover its secrets. 7 lamentable relics. So I just found 7 skulls. You don your diving gear. The whole door opens with a disquieting crunch. A crewman stops to pick bits of skull from his boot. Inside the wreck, bones haunt every surface. Each bone has been split and hollowed out, so that both inside and out could be inscribed. Some of the bones are dated, the first in each skeleton. It appears the crew were chosen for scrivening one at a time. There is something legible on the right inlet of an otherwise unmarked skeleton. Scrimsander. That sounds like a jolly place. Guess who just pressed the button they didn't mean to again? Oh well. Lost 32 hull. And some oxygen. Okay, that shadowy bit is not something I want to deal with, so let's go back up. Yeah, I think once you get the submarine, you can kind of use it and the surface to run away from the dangers. So like you can run away from dangers of the surface by going down, and you can run away from the dangers of the undersea by going up. Right. So I want to head up to where do I want to head? Getting some more fuel sounds like a good idea. Crawling stars. The lookout shouts. Far above, the fault stars in the cabin roof are shifting. A rare and ominous event. What now? Eyes on deck. News on terror. Handy. I guess you could say it's distressing and echo bizarre, right? Right? Yay! One thing about making puns here is that you have to wait for a bit to, you have to wait for the audience to respond to them via the chat. which makes it feel a bit weird sometimes. Here we are. Khan Shadow. And I promptly crash into the bed thing for a bit. Right, let's sell the captivating treasures and the 16 outlandish artifacts. What do I have left in my hold? Okay. Right. So I'm gonna go and destroy Viewer Festival again. Are. Come to Matilda, little Lorn Fluke. Come on. Come on. Oh, it hasn't realised I'm here yet. So the Lorn Flukes are the creatures that the rugbymen serve, and so a couple of them. So the Principles of Coral were a very big Lorn Fluke. Obviously, Argyle, the city that we found earlier, is linked into a Lorn Fluke, and the Fathom King gets his powers because he's actually married to one. So yeah, Lorn Flukes have a surprisingly big impact on the rest of the world. Supply for a Dolent Fetch Merchant. It's only one barrel, but it is a very large barrel. 200 echo, and he wants more. The redolent flesh merchant dips a finger into the quivering blubber and tastes it with shivering enjoyment. He pays you and gets to work selling it by the cupful. It is impossible to tell if the Cholate prefer it to their customary diet of rancid turtle meat, but at least a different flavour of terrible. His customers are still licking their lips when the barrel is joined to the last oily drop. Agree to a proud request. Seeing your ship, a hunter strides up to you. For the pride of her family and yours, she demands passage to the undersea spire of Circumstander. A deal is struck. Few return from Circumstander, not because of danger, but cost of leaving. Still, your guest promises compensation to cover your trip and your safe departure afterwards. How generous. So another one will go to... okay, compiler port. So the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the hold. Okay, so this uses torpedo components, which I've got 25 of. But Yeah, so whole damage, it does... basically, it does extra damage compared to the Memento Mori, and it also has an 8-second stagger time, which is quite a bit better. So, yeah, I'm going to hunt with that for a bit. I'm going to try it out. I kind of always overlooked it because I assumed that, you know, the Memento Mori would be stronger. But it looks like this might be better, and I'm going to test it out by hunting down, by seeing if I can find the Eater of Names. Forget it, boss. It's Sasha Town. I don't actually know where that's from. So I think the... Okay, it appears it hasn't spawned. Okay. So let's dive underwater. I think the special version of the torpedo weapons is the... I don't know what that's a reference to. Don't want to go there. That causes weird problems. I don't know what that's a reference to. I'm going to assume it's probably Chinatown. The movie Chinatown. But that's literally just me going, huh, this thing mentions Chinatown, and there's a movie called Chinatown. Maybe they're linked. There we go. Okay, send a boarding party. Take anything that's not nailed down, and definitely take anything that is nailed down. Here, don't forget your crowbar. Okay, so on plus side, on one hand, I failed the challenge. On plus side, I did get +3 veils. That's the thing with you know, destroying the irrepressible. Like it can be either. Oh boy. So this is the same text that we got the last time that we got the ship event, that we got this ship, but this time we only got one skull. Hooray! Hooray! Only one skull. Yay! Okay, I'm not going to use... Ah! The good news is, Tricelegants are the things that I kill to get live specimens that I can use to heal my hull. So that's good. Pull, my hearts, pull! The winch creaks and whines as the beast tries to bore itself further into the dark below, but the hauling line holds. Finally, the Tricelegant is spent. It floats, turning gently like a child's pinwheel. You haul the thing in with care, but it disintegrates on the cargo floor. Luckily, there are glints of value amongst the slabbed remains. Okay, so... I don't particularly want this ivory. It's taking up valuable room. I'll throw them overboard as well. There we go. So, a couple of times, the irrepressible has actually respawned. Oh boy. I forgot about oxygen. Aha! So yeah, sometimes the irrepressible actually turns up. Like if you go away, the irrepressible might respawn where it was. Ah! So the other thing about the, damn it. So the other thing about the torpedo attacks to be aware of is that, they don't, like, they take a bit more time to actually hit. Which I don't know is going to be relevant in most cases, but it might be at some point. Yeah, killed it. The Eater of Names is destroyed. The worms are streaming. Oh yeah, the ship is pulled by giant worms. The boat is shattered. Wide-eyed chinlake zealots leap into the sea. None of them try to swim. As far as you can tell, they're diving straight down with no intention of coming back up. Seize its cargo. The Eater of Name has long plundered unwise strangers in the name of death from a great shell. Perhaps they kept something of use. Seize its figurehead. The colour is Gant, the colour that remains when all else has been consumed. One of the colours I need for the, thing. So I now have one time the figurehead of the Eating of Names. A grisly relic, they must have taken this from the sea near the Gant Pole, the place that draws dying monsters. The memories of slow, deep death adhere to it like rags of skin to bone. Perhaps you'll find a use for it. Indeed I will. So I think back to Khan's Heart, refuel, and then I think I might call it there. They do. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to keep using them until I get back to Khan's Heart. Then I'm going to replace it. Put back the Memento Mori. It's I mean, it's definitely notable how much more damage they do, and also the stagger. But I think I'm gonna save it. So I think the next time we'll bust out this one is when we're fighting the Tree of Ages. Which I swear, we will get round to eventually. Right. Examine its corpse. Failed again. Yeah. Blah. Other noises. Yeah. I think it will be the longest stream that I've done. Restless Nights. In the watches of night, you pad softly past the hatch of the crew quarters. A man cries out softly in his sleep, desperately. Another. Ignored him. Ah, I'm the captain. I can't be seen to take these kind of bad dreams seriously. I mean, I probably should, but the crew don't need to know that. Here we are, Wanderer's Haven. We're going to stop wandering from a bit. As soon as we... It wouldn't be one of my streams without me crashing into things. We're not going to sell the figurehead. We're going to buy a load of fuel. Let's see. 17 Lamental Relics. This is all of us one day, but let's not be in a tearing hurry about it. Okay. Right then, so I'm going to call it there. Thanks for watching. So next week, I think we're going to do more of the same. So we're just kind of grinding up stats, and I'll just be talking about whatever. I'll probably find something new to do. Let's increase secrets. Saving game. Saved. Cool. Right, I'm going to have some dinner. So, yeah, thanks for watching the stream. I'm just going to check who was watching. It's not loading. Oh well. Yeah, so that's it. And I will talk to you on Tuesday when we're back with the Destiny stream with my two compatriots, Furiosa and Mystery Legos. And then next Saturday we've got a similar thing going on. Okay, see you later.